So I hear you like to speed, but you guys were afraid of getting caught or getting pulled over. Completely understandable. I just wanted to maybe give out some tips and tricks for what I do when I'm going over the speed limit, just wherever, just driving around or going to work. It's done pretty well for me so far. I mean, I've been driving for like 12 years, I guess. And here are some things that I look for. Most of it definitely based around a good radar detector. I feel like that's essential if you're going to be having fun and going over the speed limit, just so you don't have to worry about it. Or even if you're just a person who doesn't want to have to worry about going 5 miles per hour over and getting pulled over or whatever. I mean, a radar detector, I feel like it's great because you can at least know if there's a police officer putting a radar on, or if he has like a mobile speed tracker on in his whatever squad car or whatever. That's definitely essential. I mean, a good radar detector can pick up a signal miles away. It'll let you know if someone's behind you, ahead of you, depending on the type of unit that you have. So, I mean, I've had one pretty much ever since I started driving. All Escorts, actually, I feel like they're a pretty solid product. I've had about 3 or 4 Escorts over my span of driving, 12 years. I'm actually getting a new one pretty soon too, today. So hopefully that's cool. Other than that, so when I am driving, like especially on I feel like on freeways is kind of like the easiest spot to where you would get pulled over if you're trying to, have some fun. And it is raining in July in Washington. Still got some weird weather going on. So basically what I'm looking for while I'm driving is I'm usually always looking in, one, my rearview mirror, side mirror, to see if there's any kind of, obviously whatever state patrol, sheriff, police officers behind me. Because chances are, if they're behind you, they're probably trying to track your speed. And that's honestly where that pops up. So you could basically get a heads up to be like, hey, they're behind me. They're probably grabbing my speed right now. Got this guy at Ford Fusion thinking he's on the Grand Prix right now. Yeah, those are the things that I look out for. And always look ahead of you, obviously. You should be looking ahead to make sure there's no stationary patrol officers. And if you have like a route, like a commute or whatever that you're driving through, you should always know like the spots where they're probably sitting. Like I'm coming up here, corner of the freeway, it opens up, it's like a perfect little speed trap. So the one thing that you look for, or I look for, right here, boom, left side, I see a cross in the freeway. That's pretty much where all the state patrols sit, right there. They'll sit there with like their radar gun, either a car or a motorcycle will sit there just because right here it's just open, and that's usually where they're sitting. So if they're not there, then you're probably fine, good to go. And just knowing like your streets is kind of the most important thing. And this is probably stupid for a lot of people, but this is just what I think about when I'm driving and like at least having fun while driving. Perfectly knowing like the consequences of what will happen if I get pulled over going over the speed limit. Alright, anyways, over here, Onramps, those are excellent spots to take notes. Like, hey, what's coming on the freeway? Is it a patrol car or whatever? If not, then you're probably good. I mean, now you can just have some fun. And obviously when you're looking around, you should see if there's any possible police cars in here in this bunch of cars. I mean, obviously it's going to be a little more harder if they're undercover. I've seen some pretty weird undercover cops. I swear I've seen a Subaru Forester. Yeah, it was a Subaru Forester who's undercover. I didn't even think he was a cop until he actually lit someone up. That was pretty interesting. They got some weird cars. Always looking at your mirrors. I'm always looking at that. I'm never just like looking like straight ahead and just like zoning out. I like to like have fun while I'm driving too, so that's why. I'm always looking at the mirrors, boom, 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 looking ahead of me, checking my speed too, because I mean it is nice to know what speed you're at if you need to slow down, etc. Always checking my radar detector. And I mean that's pretty much the fundamentals, I feel like, for if you're trying to, you know, have fun and speed around. And you want to at least be prepared and be noted about what's happening around you. I can honestly, and this may sound stupid, attribute a lot of that to video games. Like especially in like shooters, there's like a lot of like tracking that you're doing in games. And I mean, I feel like that translates to real world too. If you're really good in terms of like your tracking's really good, like which has been probably conditioned during when you're playing a game. I mean, that translates to real world in terms of like tracking moving objects, that kind of stuff. I know some of you are like, what the heck is this idiot talking about? But I swear, play some shooters, get a little cracked, and you'll see what I'm saying. When you're like, just in the real world, your tracking helps you a lot. Like there are some studies, I believe, where they did video games increasing the amount of like objects that you can track in games and in real world situations too. So that's no joke. When you are having fun driving around, I feel like you should know your car that you're driving in terms of its response time, like how fast it brakes, how fast it accelerates or has the ability to accelerate, blind spots, just overall comfort in the car, so you know what it's capable of. So like if you need to slow down really fast, or if you like to have fun and accelerate, you know how fast it is. Blind spots to be like, oh, I can't really see here, or I'm not comfortable with this like a pillar here, or back here. My car, I mean, it's a coupe, so there's really no like blind spots in it, which is kind of nice. But each car is designed differently in terms of what you can see and what you can't see. That I feel like is definitely something you should get comfortable with beforehand. Like I never speed in like cars that aren't mine, just because I don't know the car. But yeah, I think that's it for kind of just tips and tricks, I guess, what to do if you're just trying to have some fun and go speeding without getting caught. As long as you kind of look at those core things, it pretty much sets you up so you can just have fun on the road. Obviously not being super dangerous, but in terms of like the speed limits, no offense, I mean they're boring. Like who has fun just driving on the right side of the freeway doing the speed limit the entire time? Like it just feels like you're like a drone going to work or whatever. It just, I don't know, it's not fun. To me it's worth the risks, but I like to be prepared to do all the steps to make sure I am not in that risk, if that makes sense. And yeah, I hope you guys thought this video was kind of cool. That's just, honestly, I just made this video just because those are kind of the things I think about. And maybe if you are trying to feel more comfortable while you're driving around having fun, then I mean look out for those, and honestly those will help you out. Anyways, have a good day, and we will see you on the next video. Later.